Procrastination is the destroyer of dreams. It is the one thing that stands between you and everything that you want in your life. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're probably procrastinating on something. But what I'm going to share with you right now are the 6 causes of procrastination so that you can get an awareness of what they are, so that you can address them and get yourself to do the things that you already know you need to do. Okay, the reality is that all of us procrastinate. When I look back at my life, yes, I was procrastinating more back then than I am right now, but the reality is that we all procrastinate, right? Tim Cycle, who actually ran a study, or is studying, has been studying procrastination for more than 20 years, suggests to us that more than 95% of people admit to being procrastinators, and 5% are actually lying about the fact that they don't procrastinate, right? He says that everyone procrastinates. Of course, there is a spectrum. Like when I look back at my life, there was a point where I would just delay everything. I would delay my workouts. I would delay launching my business. And yes, I have taken strides towards doing the things that I need to do. I have developed the rituals. I have developed the habits. But there is always something that I am procrastinating on. There's always room for improvement. And like I said, these 6 causes are what give us the awareness on how to overcome it. Okay, this is why you procrastinate. It really comes down to these 6 causes. Now, understand first and foremost the reason why human beings do anything, right? It is driven through the pleasure principle. We are driven by the need to experience pleasure, to move towards pleasure, and the desire to move away from pain, right? That's our fundamental drive. That is what dopamine does. It programs us to move towards pleasure. And the paradox is that what often feels good in the moment actually destroys our well-being in the long term. And this is exactly why it is important to expand our time horizon, to have an awareness of how our decisions in the present moment have an impact 1 week from now, 1 month from now, 1 year from now, 10 years from now. What you are doing right now will lead you to that, right? Every single decision that we make is like a chain on the link of our life, in the sense that no one decision can be affected without affecting every other decision, right? This is why it's so important now more than ever before to conquer procrastination. And like I said, everyone procrastinates. There is a spectrum. Once you have an awareness of what these 6 triggers are, what these 6 causes are, you will be that much more battle ready to deal with them and overcome them. Okay, now the first cause of procrastination is boredom, right? If you find something boring, then you will be way more likely to procrastinate on it. Now, what does it mean to be bored? This is something I've studied a lot, okay? Because we are living in a time where if we're standing in line at a grocery store, then we tend to go on our phones. If there's a moment of space, then there is the opportunity for us to scroll on our phones, right? Our phones have been there to just distract us from even being bored. So boredom, it's something I've studied a lot, or been thinking a lot about as well, right? Not studying, there's no like books on boredom, but it's important for me to really allow myself to be bored, to practice being bored. Like sometimes meditation for me is the practice of being bored, so that I can actually deal with it. Because the reality is that yes, it is important for you to step into your path and purpose as a man, but there will always be something that you need to do that will be boring. And the more boring it is, the more that you will procrastinate on it, right? So it's important to develop the skill of being able to be bored, right? Cal Newport, who wrote a book called Deep Work, highly recommend you check it out. He says that the ability to be bored is like a superpower in the 21st century, because we are living in the age of distraction. The more you are able to practice being bored, which sometimes is meditation, which sometimes you reach that bliss, but sometimes it's just like sitting in your place and observing what's going on in your mind, observing what's going on around you, rather than getting lost in your phone, will be the skill, right? The ability to be bored is actually a skill in the day and age that we're living in right now. And the more you increase your capacity to be bored, the more you will be able to do the things that you need to be doing, regardless of how boring they are, right? But of course, if you can reduce the boredom, right? Like if it's a necessary task that you need to do, then you have to be able to follow through with it regardless of how boring it is. But if it's something that you find boring, then it's important to consider some of these other causes over here as well, okay? Because the second trigger is that it's frustrating, right? If something is frustrating for you, it's probably because you are not seeing the progress in your life that you expected at that point, right? If it's frustrating for you to not be able to see results in your business, if it's frustrating to you that you're not getting views on your YouTube channel, if it's frustrating for you that you're not getting the results that you want, because more often than not, we get frustrated when we don't experience a certain result. And this is why it's important, so important, to engage in activities that you engage in for the fun of them, right? Like at one point I was like making videos, I'm not getting any views, I'm not getting any subscribers, or it's slow, and then it'll be up and then it'll be down. Like right now it's kind of down. I'm like, why am I even doing this? And I realized I actually enjoy making videos, right? Like, yeah, I can get frustrated from one end, oh, it's not growing, oh, it's not, reaching my expectations. But from the other end, it's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, even if I fail at this, like, I love making videos, and that's what I'm going to keep on doing, right? So a great question to ask is, what would you do even if you knew that you would fail? Right? What would you do even if you knew that you would fail? Because chances are that is the thing that you would do, and that is the thing that you are willing to struggle for and willing to suffer for and willing to put your time, energy, and resources into, regardless of what the outcome will be over there. Okay, so important to consider that as well. Now, the third cause of procrastination is that something is difficult, right? So for example, if you set the goal to go to the gym for like every single day of the month, but you've never been to the gym on the regular like that before, then that's a task that's way too difficult for you, right? So that's why James Clear actually has a rule. He's like the 2-minute rule, right? If you're trying to create a habit in your life, choose to do something for 2 minutes, right? So it's like, rather than saying that you're going to go to the gym every single day for an hour for a month, say that you're going to go to the gym for 2 minutes. And then once you're already there, you're like, yeah, might as well just work out, right? So you trick your brain into thinking that it's not difficult. And then you trick your brain into actually doing those difficult things because you went and did that 2-minute thing. That was your metric for success. And now that you were already at the gym, you were more likely to follow through on that as well. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ideas on how you can make something that you're procrastinating on less difficult, right? If it's something that you want to start $1 million business, the first step in front of you, let's just make it very simple. Okay, I have to register my domain name, right? I have to register my website. Whatever it is, look at the next simple, small step in front of you so that you can reduce the difficulty that is associated with that task. Okay, I hope that this is helpful for you. Now, the fourth task, right? The fourth cause of procrastination is that it is unstructured, right? Again, with the example of a business, there's so many moving pieces. There's sales, there's operations, there's marketing, there is dealing with employees. There's like so much stuff that we can focus on. Okay, but that is when it becomes overwhelming. If we can just focus on a structure, right? Having a structure in place that we can operate through, then that actually makes things way more simple as well, right? So having a structure in your life, like for example, there's so much information on YouTube. You've been watching the videos, you've been watching all of this different stuff online. But what that does is causes information overload, right? When we have so much information, okay, I want to make my life better. Yeah, I want to generate income. Yeah, I want to do X. But when you have so much information in your head, that is what causes information overload. That is what causes you to subconsciously begin to seek out distraction. Okay, the less structure that you have, the more distracted that you will be, right? That is exactly why I invest in online courses that provide a structure, that provide a framework. That is exactly why I created the Monk Mode Challenge, right? Shameless plug over here. You can check out the monkmodechallenge.com. I'll leave a link out in the description as well. But it's a structure that you walk through so that you can conquer information overload, so that you can have a framework through which you can operate every single day, right? That is exactly how the Monk Mode Challenge is structured. You can check that out at monkmodechallenge.com. Okay. Now, the fifth cause over here of procrastination is that of lacking in personal meaning. Okay. So very important to consider why you do what you do, right? Because if something does not have meaning for you, then you will be very likely to procrastinate on it. On the flip side, if something is difficult, if something is really requiring your time, energy, and resources, but it has a deep meaning for you, you have a deep reason behind why you do it, then you will overcome any obstacle in the way, right? I think it was Friedrich Nietzsche who said that he who has a why to live can overcome anyhow, right? Can bear anyhow. You will find the how, but if you focus on the why you want to achieve that result, it will change everything for you, right? So think about what you're procrastinating on. It's like a very big difference between the people telling you, oh, you need to lose weight, or you need to get in shape, right? And you're thinking, oh, I should get in shape, or I should go to the gym, versus I must go to the gym. I take care of my body temple. I am the type of person that actually respects myself, and therefore I do engage in the thoughts and the behaviors that serve me. I engage in the activities that serve me, right? Very different in terms of personal meaning. One is you're succumbing to other people's expectations, and the other is you actually having a deep meaning behind why you do what you do, right? So consider the thing that you're procrastinating on. Is that something that truly means something to you? Is that something that truly makes your heart sing, right? That makes you come alive? Or is it something that you think you should do, or think you something that people told you that you should do, right? Very important to consider that. Now, the final cause of procrastination is that of lacking in intrinsic rewards, right? So this links back to a bunch of the other triggers over here as well. But intrinsic rewards are that of, again, it comes down to personal meaning. It comes down to growth. It comes down to development. It comes down to the development of self-respect, of saying you're going to do something and then actually doing it, right? Like maybe some days I did not feel like making YouTube videos, but I made a commitment back in 2019 that for the year of 2020, I'm going to make videos every single day. That is what gives me the intrinsic reward. Even though I don't feel like doing it, even though I might be overwhelmed, even though it feels difficult in the moment, when I do it, I get done with it, I know that it feels amazing and I feel good about it. And whatever gets rewarded in your brain through the process of dopamine release is what gets repeated in your life, okay? Dopamine is the reason why you're in that positive spiral towards doing the things that you know are serving you. Dopamine is also the reason that you're in that negative spiral doing the things that don't serve you, because the things that don't serve you often feel good in the moment but destroy your well-being in the long term. And if you can really keep that long-term time horizon is when you can let go of the short-term instant gratification and begin moving towards creating a life that you love by sacrificing the short term for the long term. Okay, so those are the 6 causes of procrastination. Let me know which ones you are struggling with right now. What is one thing that you're struggling with right now? Okay, what is one thing you're procrastinating on right now? Leave a comment below if you watched it to this point in the video. Then I'll do my best to help you out and give you some ideas on how you can implement one of these causes in your life, so that you can go ahead and follow through on that, right? And if it's something that's not lacking, it's something that you're procrastinating on, but it's not something that means something to you, it's not something that gives you that intrinsic reward, then chances are that you must be focusing on something else, right? It's important for you to switch your focus and align it with something that does give you meaning. Okay, so leave a comment below letting me know the one thing you're procrastinating on right now. I'll do my best to help you out over there. But I hope that you got value from this video. And again, you can check out the monkmodechallenge.com. We go live every single month where we come together in a community to conquer that information overload and get laser focused on taking action every single day. Okay, so with all that being said, I'm going to leave you in the peace and power of the one infinite creator, and I will catch you in the next one. Much love to you. Take care.